Hello, dear conference participants. I'm really sorry I have to present online and hope so much that next year we'll be able to meet face to face. And now let me introduce our research, which is entitled Flexible Learning as a Way of Integrating Russian Doctoral Programs into European Higher Education Area. I am presenting this report on behalf of my co-author, Professor Julia Lokhova, as well. So it's like that. Doctoral education in the modern globalized world is a dynamic field in which key challenges of higher education and research come together. The recent transition to a three-level system led to considerable changes in the training of doctoral students. Currently in Russia, much attention is paid to improving the structure and quality of doctorate education in the European context of the Bologna process and the Lisbon objectives. The purpose of our study is to examine the experience of Russian universities while reforming our doctoral programs, to analyze best foreign practices, and then develop an approach to establish such a doctoral education model that would best integrate into the global higher education area and contribute to the training of a competitive scientific elite. We also aim to show that beyond the diversity of practices in doctoral education, it's possible to jointly create and develop ideas that inspire most institutions. In our research, we then present a thorough analysis of the Russian model of doctoral studies, starting from the Soviet period to present days, and further go on to considering European and American experience in doctoral studies on the example of Great Britain, Germany, France, and the United States. It turned out that different countries practice different types, forms, and duration of doctoral students' training, and the quality of training depended not only on the status of the educational institution, but also on the combination of educational and research components in doctoral programs. In general, there are only two competing models of postgraduate education in the world, that is, the European one, Great Britain, France, and Germany following it, and American. The analysis of doctoral programs in Russia and other countries all over the world showed that despite the differences, every country tries to find out ways to improve doctoral education and increase the number of doctoral students who defend their doctoral thesis in time. To do this, we have to realize that now it's the greatest time in history because learning technology is changing fast and our doctoral students can thrive with it. Our experimental work has been carried out in Samara State Technical University among the first-year doctoral students of all majors. To analyze students' preferences and needs, we offered an online 28-question anonymous survey. This approach made it possible to quickly collect students' answers and track trends in their attitudes. 125 doctoral students answered the survey questions, which were divided into three parts. The first part contained questions about an individual pace of doctoral students through the possibility to choose courses. In the second part, our doctoral students were asked about a preferable place for studying. The third part had questions about digital tools that can be used for improving doctoral studies and cutting down the time for preparing thesis. In the first part of the survey, our doctoral students were offered to choose courses for their variable part, or the so-called elective courses of the program. Students were given a choice of 11 courses you can see on the screen. There are very many, and I'll just enumerate a few. Scientific writing, conference presentation, grant writing, going on to open science, career opportunities and job applications, and so on and so forth. Every doctoral student was supposed to choose 7 elective courses, which he or she considered to be most useful for their research work and future careers. The elective courses suggested for doctoral students' choice are really numerous, but the results were, I'd say, quite unique. The figure here shows that only 7 courses were popular with the students. They were selected by most of the students, and these courses are undisputed leaders, and most students have chosen scientific writing, conference presentation, grant writing, principles of peer review, the course of popularizing science, efficient communication and convincing speech, and academic pitching. All these 7 courses, which was chosen by the students, are well integrated and correlated with European doctoral programs. The offered courses have an explicit implementation focus, and they are all taught in English. As you know, English is often the language of communication in laboratories and research teams. English is also used for training courses, writing articles and public presentations and talks, and these courses are really useful for our doctoral students. And now for the second part of the survey. Here we would like to know that the place concerned with the physical location is extremely important for doctoral students. 117 students among 125 who were asked preferred to have 80% of classes in a distant way, that is online, to communicate with teachers via Zoom or other platforms, and 20% of time they would like to devote to face-to-face classes at the university. As for the third part of our survey, it deals with digital tools that can be used for improving doctoral studies and cutting down the time for preparing thesis, because while training our doctoral students, we found out that doctoral students at Samara State Technical University lacked digital literacy skills required for advanced level research. Digital skills are particularly important for doctoral students whose in-depth research requires the use of such technology tools as databases, course management systems, citation management programs, and things like that. Although widely researched in the undergraduate education context, digital literacy instruction has received little attention concerning doctoral students. In addition, even less attention has been paid to the effectiveness of citation management tools in educational research. We gave doctoral students a list of some useful and mostly free resources, tools, that can help them during writing their thesis, and asked if they had either heard about these resources or if they had already used them in their scientific or practical work. The resources were divided by us into 6 groups according to their function and purpose. That is, for saving your work and materials, cloud-based tools, for managing papers and bibliography, for drawing vectorized figures, for making graphs from data or results, for taking notes, and for searching up-to-date scientific literature. And the figure here shows that most students are ignorant of resources from Group 2 and from Group 6, and they need training, as these tools can be really of invaluable help. To fill in this gap, we are planning to design a new course, Digital Tools for Researchers, next year. During this course, doctoral students will find out how digital tools can help them to explore modern literature and recent publication on the subject, connect with other researchers, write, publish, and evaluate results they obtain, and enhance the visibility of their research for the others. Coming to the conclusion. Our research generally presents the results of an extensive study of doctoral education in Russia and abroad. It provides an overview of the deep transformation that has taken place in doctoral education over the past century, and assesses the degree of change, showing that a doctorate today is really different from that of a decade or more ago. At the moment, we see and realize that Russian universities have already adopted some international experience of providing specialized courses to teach research skills and competencies required for a successful academic career. But it's still too early to talk about the effectiveness of implementing those practices in Russian universities, as the first doctoral students enrolled after adopting the new rules will only graduate after a year or two. But now it's already clear that the main direction of improving doctoral studies in Russia are flexibility, digitalization, and exchange of experience in implementing doctoral education enhancement practices at a national and cross-national level, which will improve thesis and degree completion rates and will have positive effects on the scientific, economic, and technological development both in Russia and, we hope, all over the world. That is all. Thank you for your attention and hope to see you next year face to face.